plant-based diet and exploring meatless options. So Thanksgiving just passed. What was on your table? Meat.
Meat.
What about you? What was on your table?
Turkey and stuffing, the usual.
Yeah.
Crab, scallops.
Oh, seafood, huh? That's interesting. Well, most people's table looks like this. So this is the traditional American Thanksgiving. We're African American, had macaroni and cheese, hot water cornbread, potato salad, all the extras. So, I grew up on this meal. I actually learned to cook by helping my gran prepare this meal. She taught me everything she knew, every Thanksgiving. I was in the kitchen. Her stuffing is famous in Solano County, so this is actually how I learned to cook, by preparing this meal. But for the past 3 years, I haven't been able to partake in this meal. When my son was in 2nd grade, he was diagnosed with ADHD and autism. And I always wondered, what was going on. There was something a little different about him, but I wasn't quite sure. So when I learned that he had ADHD and autism, I hit the books. I started learning everything there was to know about the condition and how to help him. Within my research, I read about medication, and I realized that is not something that I want him to be on. It has horrible side effects, and it wasn't a good option, in my opinion. However, I started getting calls from his teachers. Micaiah is screaming in class. Micaiah is running away in class. Micaiah is hurting his, other students and acting out and hiding. And so at that point, I decided maybe medication is what's best for him. So I put him on the medication in 5th grade, and it was exactly what I suspected. It was something I didn't want. Now he wasn't doing any of those things. He wasn't acting out, he wasn't running away, but he was a shell of a boy. He was despondent, he was falling asleep in class. He just wasn't there. He wasn't sleeping at night, he was grinding his teeth. It was horrible. So I started to read and research what else I can do to help them. And everything led to a plant-based diet. So, a plant-based diet is a diet that is based on fruits, vegetables, tubers, grains, and legumes. Does anybody know what a tuber is? Potatoes, yucca, winter squash. Those are what tubers are. Legumes are your split peas, your beans, even peanuts are legumes. Sorry, I'm going to catch myself up here. So that was in 5th grade. Now he's in 8th grade and thriving. Almost everything I read suggested a plant-based diet free of GMOs and processed food. So, plant-based diet is fruits, vegetables. It excludes meat, dairy, flour, eggs, sugar, and oil. So I know everyone's thinking, wow, that is a lot of exclusions. And it is. And we tend to think of things in terms of what we can't have. So the moment you say, you know what, I'm not eating ice cream anymore, it's no good for me, it makes my stomach bloat. You say you're not eating it, and then an hour later you're like, I really want some ice cream. It's the human condition. Every time we say we don't want something or we're not going to do something, it's all we can think about. So you're not alone. When you look at these exclusions and you're like, I could never go without meat, I need dairy in my coffee. There's so many other options. So changing your eating habits, it doesn't have to happen all at once. You can make changes daily. For me personally, I went all in, guns blazing. I really just wanted to help my son. That was my objective. So we would go to birthday parties, and I would say, no cake, no ice cream, no candy, no hot dogs. Don't even think about touching those chips. You know what? Just stay away from everything. I'm gonna pack you a snack. My son, he would say, I'm sorry, I can't eat that. I don't eat gluten or sugar or red dye number 5. And people would look at me like, this lady is out of her mind. And in retrospect, I was a little crazy, but I really just wanted to help him. And that crazy passion, it led me to today. It led me to quit my job of 7 years. I worked for a health insurance company and become a health-conscious personal chef. It led me to not just helping my son, but helping others as well. I've helped a client get their gout in remission, helped their hypertension and blood pressure almost diminish. One of my NBA players, they didn't eat vegetables at all, and now they're growing them. In March of this year, I got a phone call from a man. He says, hi, my name's Sean. I'm like, hi, Sean. He says, I got referred to you from another client. I want to start eating right. Can you help me? I said, sure, I can help you. We set a meeting for the next day. So I'm sitting down in front of him, and I'm telling him all about my theories on eating and what a plant-based diet is and how I can help him. And I looked at him and I said, what are your goals, Sean? And he looked at me with tears in his eyes and he said, I don't want to die. He said, I just lost my granddad. He was obese. My father's obese. And look at me. He says, I have a 5-year-old. I get tired just laughing. He said, I want to play basketball with him. I want to play baseball. I want to run around and chase him. Because like at the route I'm going, I'm going to die like my grandpa. And he was like, can you help me? I said, absolutely. So he wrote me a check that day, and we got on it. I made him 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, from March to August. He would call me frustrated sometimes. Can I get a burger? I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I don't cook red meat. He's like, can I get a pork chop? I'm like, I'm not going near the pork. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can have fish, you can have chicken, you can have turkey, but I'm not going to cook you those other meats. And he would get upset, but he got over it. And it got to the point where he was taking my meals to business meetings, to weddings, to family events. He would even order food for other family members. And by the end of this, from March until August, he stayed diligent, and he lost a total of 62 pounds on diet alone. So that's one of my success stories that I'm most proud of. So today, I'm going to talk to you about why you should eat a plant-based diet now that you know what it is. So, the obvious reason is health, right? So studies show that there's glaring health benefits to eating a plant-based diet. Reversing disease, I've discussed the gout and high blood pressure, hypertension. Diabetes, inflammation are another one. Also, anxiety and depression. So when you eat from the earth, it helps your mood, it makes you feel better, it helps you move better. Next is cancer. So cancer survives in a toxic state. And most of the meats that we eat, they're fed corn. And corn is a GMO crop, and I'll get into that in just a moment. And cancer cannot survive in an alkaline environment. So when you're eating alkaline fruits and vegetables, you're killing the possibilities for that disease to survive within you. Constipation. There's millions of things over the counter, Metamucil and whatnot, for constipation. When I stopped eating meat, I became regular. I mean, I know it's TMI, but that's what it is. I'm serious. So when you eat from the earth, our bodies are programmed to eat from the earth. That's why it's here. You know, it grows from the ground, grows from the trees. Healthy glowing skin. I know you guys all heard black don't crack, which is true. We have beautiful, amazing, resilient skin. But if you want it to glow, food vibrates, it has energy, and when you're eating living foods, it radiates through your skin. And you start to glow like you right now. I mean, you are sparkling. You must eat plant-based every day. Yes?
How does one get full?
I will get to that in just a moment, okay? Yes. I don't eat any meat. I do partake in fish occasionally, but it's very minimal. So, yeah, no meat. 3 years now, going strong. This next one, compassion for animals. I never thought really anything about it growing up. I was raised on a diet centered around meat, as we all were, you know. We make delicious food as a people. We do, you know, but that's the food that, you know, we grew up eating, and you don't think about animals. But someone said something to me once, and it really resonated with me. They said, how can you feel alive if you eat dead things? And I'm a spiritual person, so I was like, wow, you know, I didn't think about that. And they, you know, they kind of talked to me how animals have spirits and souls, and how eating is a spiritual practice. And that resonated with me, and I decided at that point, you know what, I'm not gonna eat meat. And I'm not here to bash anyone who eats meat, because my kids still partake in the occasional turkey burger, chicken wings, but it's more of a treat than a necessity. So, and lastly, protecting the environment. So we're in a drought here in California, correct? We're all on water watch and trying to save as much as we can. The grass is brown, you know, things like that. But what if I told you that 18% of water usage comes from farms? It's not us, we use 4%. All of us collectively, we use 4%. The farms use 18%. So they should be on water watch. It takes 4,000 to 18,000 gallons of water to make the beef for one hamburger.
Wow.
One. You can Google that, it's a fact. So, you know, protecting the environment is another reason to eat a plant-based diet, because, you know, we're helping the water usage, the shortage. So, how do I start eating a plant-based diet? Sure, that's what we all want. I started guns blazing, I told you guys that. I just took everything out of the cabinets, anything that was in a box, a package, I took it all out. So, what you can do is you can incorporate one plant-based meal in your diet 3 times a week. So for breakfast, instead of having eggs and toast, have a big bowl of fruit or a smoothie. For lunch, have a salad with no meat on it. You can put nuts, sauteed vegetables, beans. You can put so much on a salad to make yourself feel full without the meat, without the cheese, without the ranch. A squirt of lime juice, you know, a drizzle of olive oil, avocado oil, and, you know, it tastes great. So how many people know what a GMO is? What is it? Genetically modified organism. In short, you're getting your food made in a lab instead of grown on a farm. They're genetically engineering these seeds and then planting them. And all sorts of horrible things are happening. Cancer, for one. We all know someone who has cancer, who has had it, who is in remission, who passed from it. Food, GMO.
Monsanto is really pushing.
Monsanto is pushing. It's big. And what's the point of eating an apple or a tomato or an asparagus if it's not going to benefit you nutritionally? It really makes no sense. As I told you, I worked in healthcare for 7 years.